That looked like a celebration already. He's celebrating there is 100 days. Ashutosh, now, we are going to have to look at issues of what serves the people. Price rise. Right. Corruption. Vinod Mehta says there is no instance of corruption in the last 100 days. What do you want him to talk about on corruption? You want to make that point? You make that point.
One example in the 100 days. Give me one Colgate. Listen, I don't want to sound like a spokesman for Mr. Narendra Modi. I mean, I don't like the man. But I think that if we just attack him, if we just pretend that 100 days have been a disaster, then our credibility in attacking him is diminished.
Okay, let me give you a few examples of corruption.
Please,
let me give you a few examples of corruption.
Every time the Congress speaks on corruption,
But it is not the Congress Party's government, it is the BJP's government. They have to answer. Mr. Mehta asked the question, give me examples. I'm giving you examples.
Ashutosh is not.
People who are
I told Ashutosh I'd
criminal activity are out on bail. Maya Kudnani is out of bail. Babu Bajani is out on bail.
Ashutosh, please, one at a time. Ashutosh, yes, please.
Yeah. Arnab, today I'm surprised to hear what Mr. Vinod Mehta is saying, because we have tremendous respect for Mr. Vinod Mehta. We all learned few things from Vinod Mehta as a journalist. But today he's trying his level best to look neutral and objective as a journalist. I'm surprised. This is not the time to look neutral and objective. You have to take a position, Mr. Vinod Mehta, and you should take a position. And I'm sorry to say, you are not taking a position. When the social ecosystem is disrupting, when a community is living is really scared to live in this country, when the diversity is being killed, you are giving us sermons to be objective. Are you talking about that we should be thinking about the GDP is going from 4.5 to 4.57? So I want to tell you one thing today, that today there is a situation where the shadow of the fascism is looming all over us, and the history will not forgive if we don't recognize that. If history is going to judge Narendra Modi by GDP from jumping from 4.5 to 5.7, I think there is something wrong with all of us. Today we should go to those areas where the minorities are living scared. They don't want to come out. There are more than 600 riots in UP happening on a daily basis. Today, even in Delhi, in the Caravan and other areas, in the name of the love jihad, there was a riot-like situation. So, and why the Prime Minister is not speaking? Because he believes in that ideology which spreads fascism. Here is a Prime Minister who lives in narcissism, who believes in a personality cult, giving sermons to the schools from Kashmir to the Kanyakumari, that every student and every school kid has to listen to him. What kind of situation we are living in? So that's why, Mr. Vinod Mehta, I'm sorry to say this. We have a tremendous respect for you, but please take a position.
He's saying.
Vinod Mehta didn't get. It's only fair I give you a chance to respond, because
what is he saying?
He invokes your name many times. No, he's basically saying that that he said he respects you a lot as a journalist, but that he feels let down by the fact that you are sounding like, if I may say so, you're sounding like a cheerleader, he says, and that you're trying to.
That's absurd. I mean, that's
why because he feels you're trying very hard to appear to be balanced.
What's wrong in being balanced? As a journalist, I'm supposed to be balanced. What is wrong in being balanced? Does he want me to be prejudiced?
But some.
My job is to be balanced. For 40 years I've been an editor. I've prided myself on my balance.
No, but my problem is that you're trying to be balanced.
Okay, gentlemen. The discussion is not on Vinod Mehta, it's on the 100-day Modi government. My questions, yes, Sankarshan. Sankarshan wanted to come in on this. You see, my issue is about the one issue approach of all the critics of the Modi government. I think that might end up being that actually is healed, Sankarshan. The only issue on which you criticize Modi, and did you see this today? Communalism seems to be the only issue. While that is a very relevant issue, this single issue focus, will it be the right approach for the opposition and the critics? Sankarshan, Thakur. No, I want to get Sankarshan in. And I also want to know why after that Vani Tripathi refuses to be drawn on a substantial issue on economy and price rise. Yes, Sankarshan.
Communalism is a very important issue, Arnab, especially in a country like ours. But communalism is not the only issue of criticism. Also, since we are only discussing 100 days, again, let's be fair. It's you know, the government hasn't had its impact yet, so it's a bit actually unfair to judge in terms of what they have done, because it is a work in progress and it is very early progress. So I think we will have to give some more time before we start judging the government on how it has performed. But I am looking at the early signs. You know, I think we keep barking up the wrong tree when we say, oh, the RSS agenda is being followed, this is being followed, the RSS is becoming sort of dominant on the government. You have a Prime Minister who is a Pracharak. He is the RSS. The Pracharak has become a proud Pradhan Mantri today. So to expect that from the ramparts of Red Fort, the Pradhan Mantri will say, have a 10-year moratorium on riots and communalism.
But
and
he
then
said that.
He said that.
But he said that. Saba.
I don't want.
He actually.
Adityanath.
But Sankarshan, he did.
No.
He said that. The point is that nobody seems to be.
Do I expect him to object to Adityanath's appointment as one of the sort of leaders of the campaign in UP? No. Frankly, no. These are logical steps of what has happened in Delhi. I'm not surprised at all.
Well, I think we've not looked at several issues out there. Would we at least concede that on foreign policy appears to be more acceptable, more robust, more popular, more in line with what the country needs? Hartosh, you
Yes.
You concede that, Hartosh, on foreign policy?
Look, you cannot look at these things in isolation. The foreign policy is important. But this question, this dichotomy that is being projected us all the time, there's growth, there is communalism. It's not as if these are separate issues. If the very social fabric on which we rely on as a nation is under threat, and at the same time we are getting 6% growth, that is an individual decision which you emphasize. And I think that is a real problem.
So are you saying that, see, Mr. Gujral, hear what our panelists are saying. They are saying that if you are going to have this sort of intolerant approach politically and let loose people whose political line crosses the Lakshman Rekha of decent politics in a secular nation, then what many of our panelists are saying, that any amount of growth you may have, any amount of muscularity or robustness you may have in your foreign policy approach will amount to nothing. Will you discount that, Mr. Gujral? We're asking you tonight, why can't this country have both social amity, communal amity, as well as economic growth? And to have communal amity, you need to put these people on a leash, not look the other way.
Yes.
I'm sure you understand that, Mr. Gujral. It has to go beyond your stated positions.
No, I am saying something, that every single vote that Mr. Modi got was a vote for transformational economic growth, and that is why in the first 100 days that has been his agenda, to ensure that the wheels of the economy start moving once again.
But you're only talking about the economy.
That had set in, that should be corrected. Let me finish. Having said that, obviously if the social fabric in the country is not going to be respected, if the social fabric gets fractured, our growth will also get hurt. But have you heard one word from Mr. Modi which communalizes the situation? In fact, whatever he said from the Red Fort,
we've heard a lot from his
was
party.
to put
heard a word against
all
it.
these people.
Absolutely not correct.
Oh, counter.
Mr. Gujral, that is not correct at all. What do you expect of a Prime Minister who before the campaign made Mr. Amit Shah the gunslinger and riot specialist in charge of UP? 3 months later there were riots in UP, and on the back of those riots they won Uttar Pradesh.
Why are you soft on Mulayam Singh Yadav?
Absolutely not. Mulayam Singh Yadav is equally culpable.
Amit Shah, the
He is equally culpable. But I'm trying to tell you, Arnab, I'm trying to tell you, what do you expect? But I'm saying he's wrong. Transformational economics. Even Gujarat did not have transformational economics.
You don't speak on Akhilesh
Can I
because
say-
Mulayam has given you a walkover in Raebareli, Amethi.
Arnab Goswami, I'm talking.
Let's move out of this communal debate.
Absolutely.
Arnab, you were
Let's
trying
talk
to
about-
touch Modi on the world stage, right? In fact, I would say there have been some very fascinating and admirable things that have happened. The WTO position, controversial though it showed that Modi has a capacity to look somebody and to take strong positions. There were certain positions involving a particular corporate house in India which were taken, which was surprised many. There, he's now gone to Japan and he's put on a performance, which is really, I mean,
why do you call it a performance?
I mean, he's performed very well. Okay, let me put it like that. On the face of it, from the images that we see,
what do you mean performance? I mean, if he has impressed people in Japan or been sort of connected, is it a performance?
No, of course, when you're on the public stage, everything is a performance, Arnab.
No, my question to Arati is this, that, you know, at the end of the day, the basic criticism on Modi is communalism and centralization. On the other hand, we have a slight revival of the economy, a fairly, you know, sort of hard-talking foreign policy approach, which many people appreciate, right? Streamlining of the government, removal of a lot of sort of bureaucratic bottlenecks.
Like what?
Well, like your EGOMs, I gave you that one clear example.
What has that led to? What are the results?
100 days.
Arnab, you know, I'm sorry.
Foreign policy.
I want to return to a point that has been made again and again during the course of the debate, that you cannot have development without social harmony. I think that's very, very clear. And that is why we keep flagging the communal issue, because it is going to affect the economic progress and development, which is what everybody wants, which is what people voted for Modi for. So therefore, he has to ensure social peace. Even if he's getting, you know, he may get short-term electoral gains in UP because he's communalizing
Gujarat, they managed to do that. They managed to have a level of harmony after the riot.
But Gujarat,
they managed to have development after marginalizing
but Gujarat is
people.
different to UP. It's different to Bihar. I don't think you can take Gujarat and impose it impose that on the rest of the country. So I think that we're really moving into very dangerous territory here.
Well,
and I think that you need to. This is something that is essential for development.
They're not talking about the economy.
Essential for development.
But the Gujarat
Vinod Mehta, the last.
I wanted to just say that you said about this communal matter that it's looking the other way. It's much more sinister than that. Because as the Prime Minister of India, all of Modi apologists say, why should he talk about this? Why doesn't you criticize Mulayam Singh Yadav? I am saying as the Prime Minister of India, he has a duty to criticize and admonish and rebuke all communal elements in his own party and outside his party.
I think, see, gentlemen,
and his silence,
I'd only say
and
at the
Arnab,
end,
his silence is an encouragement.
No, I'd say at the end that I think it's a mixed bag, but I'd be shocked if it wasn't. I mean, it's been a big political change in this country. It's a mixed bag. I don't know who expected things to be either completely this way or that.
Curate Seg.
Huh?
Curate Seg.
What?
Good in parts.
What is that?
Okay.
In which
Good
language?
in parts, says Vinod Mehta. I thank you all for joining me on that interesting chat. I don't believe in commemorations, but it's a good time to take stock. It seems to be a mixed bag. Let's see how things go. Thank you, gentlemen.